Nigerians have been asking one question, one very fundamental question, as to whether this strike really succeeded. Did it achieve the objective? Because on the one hand, people are saying, where are the bodies? The bodies of the terrorists who were taken out. And on the other hand, some are saying, look, it's not necessary to show you, any...
Greetings to you, dearly beloved. God bless you in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. For a quick one, I bring a prophetic update to you. And this is about the feedback of the airstrike that was carried out in Sokoto. So I went online to check, videos that reveal what actually happened, about the, succession of the airstrike of the United States that was carried out in Sokoto, whether the airstrike actually succeed in, killing the bandits, if it kills the bandits, where are their body, based on the question people are asking. So I went online to check a video that speak these things in-depthly, so that you, my viewers, can, understand what is going on, and at the same time, to bring you a prophetic word. I don't do politics here. What I do here is to bring, the awareness of Nigerians into what is happening, and at the same time, show you the mind of God. So I'm going to give you some minutes to listen to the video right now, so that you can know the, succession of the United States, regarding their airstrike in the, northern state of Nigeria.
Nigerians, they don't bring out the list. Make una call here how many terrorists by after Donald Trump strike. Make una listen to this video you guys see on this background here.
Three Boko Haram commanders neutralized in Borno airstrikes. All of them have been eliminated in Borno. I told you about the US government determination and the Nigerian Air Force. So it's a collaboration, and I have their names here. I'll give you their names one after the other. All of them have been eliminated. And that information is right there on your screen as you are watching this video. So I give you information that you can see on your screen from the Daily Post newspaper, from the newspapers. This was from the Daily Post. You can go and read it yourself. But let me just give you their names one after the other. Now, troops of the Operation Adinke, supported by the Nigerian Army and Nigerian Air Force platform, have reportedly neutralized several key Boko Haram terrorist commanders in Borno State. Many of the Boko Haram commanders, they have been eliminated. Many of them, their orga, they don't buy them today. Now, their names are: number 1, Abu Kaka; number 2, Ibn Muhazu; number 3, Abu Muhammad; number 3, Ba Al-Haji; number 4, Bakura; number 5, Modu; number 6, Abu Hassan; number 7, Kaka Alei; Abba, Tariye, and Ba Musa. These are the names of the eliminated Boko Haram commanders. All of them have got to be the ancestors. So kudos to the Nigerian Army and the Air Force, but for the US intervention first, which led the way, we must give them kudos for that. And this is just the beginning. The downfall of the terrorists is just starting at this time. The downfall of the terrorists in Nigeria is just starting. If you are pitting for them, it also means that you are also a terrorist like them. There are no other ways around it. The US government is not relenting on the assault of the terrorists across northern parts of Nigeria. Now, they have carried out ISR operations today over Israel positions in the Sambisa forest. US military is not relenting. Donald Trump has said enough is enough, and he meant his words. This is the first time that a foreign nation will be conducting military strikes against terrorists in Nigeria. It has never happened before. There is nowhere in history this has ever happened. It has never happened before. So, but the US have conducted another one, and they are hovering around Sambisa forest. What does Trump has in stock? Maybe by January 1, we may see another strike on the terrorists by U.S. military.
Well, we have in the studio Ferdinand Duroha, Arise chief correspondent, who just returned from Sokoto State, covering the aftermath of the Christmas Day U.S. strike there. Ferdinand Duroha, good to have you back.
Thank you so much.
In one
so
piece.
Much. Yeah, one piece.
Yes.
I like the way you said
yeah,
it.
we
One
are
piece.
grateful because really, I mean, when you consider the backstory, it's not as easy as it seems. You didn't get a flight coming back from Sokoto. You had to.
It's not easy, and that's because, well, you know, everything.
Yeah.
It's the season, the Christmas season. President Trump decided to give a Christmas gift.
True.
And you know, there were lots of talks if the Christmas gifts did get to those whom we were supposed to, who should be getting the gifts, and you know, those were the backstories. But at the end of it, well, I just think that it's very necessary for us to take a look at the scenarios, and then if there are lessons to be learned, definitely, yes. I do think there's a whole lot of lessons for us.
We will definitely come to that. Nigerians have been asking one question, one very fundamental question, as to whether this strike really succeeded. Did it achieve the objective? Because on the one hand, people are saying, where are the bodies? The bodies of the terrorists who were taken out. And on the other hand, some are saying, look, it's not necessary to show you, any
well, permit me to say that,
right. How do you gauge or weigh the success or otherwise of this strike?
Well, I've been embedded in military operations for the last 8 years, and I must say that such coverages, for such coverages, well, it's not new to hear people come out with some of these questions, and that's because you take a look at the state in which we are right now. Well, there are a whole lot of doubts, there are a whole lot of confusion, and so people just want to be psychologically safe.
Right.
And that's exactly the reason. Yes, that's exactly the reason why you begin to hear some of these questions. And then also, permit me to say this, well, because of the way we've actually carried branded figures, sometimes you hear 1,000 people killed, 50 people killed, 600 people killed, and yet we still see these terrorists carry out these activities.
And looking
stronger. That's exactly the reason why people are asking these questions.
Yeah.
So I don't blame them, but then also, well, perhaps I'm going to say that later on. Well, let's start first of all by asking, did this actually achieve its objective?
Yes.
Well, for me, I will say, yes, it did. However, there's something that we must all learn. We must all learn that, well, when you talk about warfare, you can't separate propaganda from it.
Absolutely.
And so when you take a look at some of the, words that have been, that, take for example, President Donald Trump used, we're talking about words like powerful, words like deadly or, obliterating. Well, perhaps if you use those words to indeed weigh whatever you are taking a look at that happened in Tangasa or whatever, well, definitely, you wouldn't really find that. And so to a large extent, I will say, yes, terrorists were killed because I spoke with people who saw bodies.
Right.
I spoke with a couple of them,
members of the community,
one of the traditional leaders. Well, after that, well, some security operatives went down, and then with them were some civilians, and I spoke to them.
Right.
And for some of them, first of all, when you go into that community, it's not a place where people are quick to talk. That's why when you take a look at the report, we had to blur some of these faces, and that's because, to a large extent, they will tell you that a whole lot of them living in the community have been in bed with the bandits for different reasons. For some of them out of fear, for some of them out of sympathy. Now, don't forget the story, talking about Lakurawa. At a point in time in 2018, the people of Sokoto invited Lakurawa to come in and help.
Protect them.
Help as vigilantes.
Right.
Help discipline their children. And so, along the line, rather than disciplining, these guys, they went on with whatever beliefs that they had, tried to instill those beliefs, which was not really concurrent with didn't align with some of the things that we know. Right. And from there, they got powers, and from there, they went on and on and on, and then the people became like slaves, and it got so bad, it got so bad that, you have a chicken in your house, they come in, they pick up the chicken. I spent over 3.5 hours there, and I can tell you that I didn't see livestock. That community is not a community where you want to rear livestock, and that's because...
Why is that?
They come in and then they take it. Now that's the situation.
These Lakurawas.
That's exactly what it is.
So what the people in those communities have on their hands, some kind of Frankenstein.
There's so much to it. You cultivate, they come in, you pay taxes, they come in, they take your crop, or they come in, they adopt persons, you go and sell the crop, the produce, and then you do it. They went in, carved out a cave for themselves, the cow, the kakuri, Kauga, and then Malgam in those places, and then that's exactly how they've been doing it. So it's not also very easy for these persons to come in freely.
So these Lakurawas, if I'm getting you correctly, have become some kind of government.
That's exactly what they are right now. They've become a government. Those ungoverned spaces that we all talk about, that's exactly what they've done. They go into those places and then somehow dominate. And then going back to some of the lessons that we've learned, at least we didn't see obliteration, we didn't see those deadly missiles, but there were casualties. And I think we must learn from that. And for the United States, well, they have said they are not backing down. And then somehow, I just think we have to improve on this. When I talk about improve on this, yes, in terms of synergy. But permit me to also say this, still talking about that. Now, I think there should also be a clarity in terms of the mission. And that's because when you put this side by side with the objectives of President Donald Trump, you really want to ask questions. However, terrorists are terrorists, and any terrorist taken out anywhere, anytime, any day is a positive one for Nigeria as it stands at this point.
So what are the lessons we need to take away from here? Because when you hear, for example, that tomahawks were used in these strikes, and you wonder if these are the right equipment to use in carrying out these operations.
If we can't associate,
what are the risks involved here?
If we can't associate deadly and powerful with this, then obviously I think we also have to question the use of precision. And so maybe it's a lack of understanding. I know the military would always look at this, classify it, and then say, well, although we are in a war, but this is an asymmetrical warfare. It's not a place where you can just go in and then cap a bomb. And so I think perhaps, they also have to look at it in terms of the weapons. If your target is Tangasa, and then you have weapons dropping in Kwara, or perhaps even if it's not weapons, warheads dropping in Kwara, whatever they did call it, well, debris dropping in Kwara, debris dropping in Jabo, then you really must question the missiles that you used. So I think perhaps that's also a lesson for them. How
precise are these?
They definitely have got to take a look at it. How precise, are the strikes? And then when you come back home, I was expecting, or perhaps I should say this now, give it up for our military, like what we've seen today, what we've heard today with what the efforts, what they've done. However, I didn't see that eagerness to continue, for a follow-up on the part of our military. They were not so excited. Now, no disrespect, and then I must clearly say this. Now, it's not because they don't like what has happened, but then also, you also want to look at some of the backstories and then some of the reactions. And it was like, as if, we didn't really appreciate what they were doing. Now we have our boys everywhere, scattered across the country, driving from Sokoto down to this place. They are scattered across the road, and so they are doing a whole lot from sunset until sundown, and so it's good to appreciate them. And so perhaps I saw military that really didn't feel appreciated, and with Nigerians coming in to celebrate this, I felt, well, we have to be very careful so that we do not
Don't demoralize
them.
soldiers on the
They
front
are doing
lines.
a whole lot
Yeah.
as well. However, in terms of the clearance operations, I didn't see so much zeal to go in there. Now, for me, it's not about if the weapons did destroy anywhere or if terrorists were killed, but I'll tell you a small story. I was going into Tangasa. I had to stop by at the last police post. And it was a young man. It was the DPO that told me, come on, go. And that's because I was scared. I and my team were scared. And we were like, how could we go? Now, this is one road you don't want to travel alone without security. There are some persons who attempted it and then they almost went there with a garrison.
Wow.
But then we wanted to go on that road. It was the DPO who told us, from what they've heard, in the last couple of days that these strikes took place, this place has been clear. And that's because these people have already reported that they saw these terrorists running away. And trust me, not just ourselves, on the road also, we were driving by, the driver was asking, and then there seemed to be this optimism. There seemed to be this excitement.
In the community.
This safety of, these people are no longer here. This place is now safe.
But unfortunately,
I think we need to cash in.
on that,
I think we need to cash in on it.
But then again, we heard barely 24 hours after this strike happened. You know, there were reports from Benue, traditional, leaders in Benue State saying they've noticed some, unusual movements of strange,
it's possible.
People. Of course, there was a strike in Kebbi State where
it's possible. It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
From what we were told, Tangasa was used for assembling and of course staging, and it was everything. It was everything.
So
and so yes, it was everything. And so that place needed to be attacked. It needed to be hit. Now that hit happened. We are very sure there are casualties. Perhaps they all weren't obliterated like what some persons are saying.
Right.
And then the communities did say that they did see a whole lot of them running away on their bikes the same way they attacked 3-4 of them.
There are calls now that this strike should be expanded to the north central, to the northeast.
Yeah.
As a reporter on ground, is that something that we should be buying into? Very quickly, are there risks involved? What are the implications?
I think we don't need the Americans to do that. And the Air Force didn't need the Americans to do that before they did it today. We must continue. We must indeed use intelligence, critical intelligence, to take a look at places like Tangasa, places where these persons, have cells, places where they've come. There are places where they've come together, and then where people know that, yes, these are terrorist enclaves. We should attack those places. And then also, we should try very, very hard to ensure that when we attack, the attack is precise. And then also, morale is also needed.
It has to be high enough to encourage soldiers on the front line. Ferdinand Droha, you've also been on the front line. Thank you very much for what you do, and thank you for coming back safe and sound to us. Ferdinand Droha, Rice Chief of Correspondence, just back from Sokoto State.
Now, all of these things you just listened to, they are fulfilling prophecy. And if you've been following me on this platform, you will understand that, all of these things has already been prophesied. So you see, according to the message you just heard, and according to the things you just listened to, you see that, it was successful. To me, I do not have a doubt, in regards to the fact that the United States actually succeeded, in their, operation. So I do not have doubt, but many people have doubt. And that is why I have to bring this message up to you. And the reason why I do not have doubt is because the Lord had revealed these things. And when God says that there's going to be divine intervention, I don't believe that they will miss in their operation. So that's it. So what do you think? Let me hear from you in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you smash the subscription button and turn on the notification bell so that you can be updated whenever I make another post. And God bless you in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. So we'll see you on the other side. Amen.